All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. The day before Thanksgiving, but quite the crowd. If anybody needs a cup of coffee, you have it over there. But welcome to Coffee with Tyler and Evan, special guest. I invited Evan just to sit and experience and enjoy, and also probably fill in some of the conversation and some of the answers that I might not have. So first, just want to welcome any of you first-time Coffee with Tyler goers. Anyone? All right. Well, welcome. For those of you that haven't been to a Coffee with Tyler, it's pretty simple. I don't have an agenda. I have a blank piece of paper, and I hopefully have some answers to any questions you may have. I'm also here to provide any updates you might want, and then help direct any conversations we can. A little bit different format than State of the Castle, because I don't have time to prepare the answers to the questions because they all just come right from me, but also it's just very conversational. So with that, I'll open it up to anybody that has the first question. Otherwise, I can provide just a few updates to kind of get things going. But if anybody has the first question, happy to take it. Joe.
What's the status on the fireplace?
The status on the fireplace, Joe. Great question. It's working. So, hey, I'm done. No. CG Schmidt came back this morning with our fireplace tech. The remote is with Lila at the front desk. The fireplace is on, and that's where the fireplace is probably going to remain on for the normal daytime hours and into the early evening. My thought is kind of have Lila turn it on when she gets here in the morning, Famata before she leaves in the evening. If for some reason you're up in the middle of the night and want a nice fire, security can turn it back on for you. It is a gas fireplace. It's a special nifty remote that I figured we don't want to lose it, and also I don't want to try to train a number of residents on how to turn it on. But if you go past the fireplace right now, it is on, it is working, and all for all to enjoy. So, yes. Yes, it definitely warms up the space and just is what we needed. So I appreciate everybody's patience. But yeah, Carla was in today to get it squared away. So.
And the fireplace on the fourth floor in the lounge.
Yes.
The remote is up on the mantle right at the top.
Okay. But it's not mounted on like the side of the wall. It's just on. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And
so,
it's electric. It's not gas.
Yeah. So you can just turn it on and off. So, a couple common area fireplaces if you are wanting to nestle up with a book near a fire.
Or nestle up with something else.
Or nestle up with something else by the fire. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what else? Okay. Well, food and beverage. A couple updates for Majarka. Obviously, we have Thanksgiving here tomorrow, so it's a plated Thanksgiving lunch. So not dinner tomorrow night. If you have reservations, thank you for that. And again, just over the holidays, I think Majarka worked with the Food and Beverage Committee to kind of go through. So just take a peek at the memo that's in there. We also updated with the help of Evan and Kevin and Majarka. The Bistro TV now is a touchdown TV. So essentially, as you walk past, you'll be seeing those updates just like you would do in the 1884. As opposed to just the Gilman menu. So it'll be a little bit more interactive. I know Evan, Majarka, the communications committee are working hard and diligently to update the app. Unfortunately, our friends at Touchtown have kind of gone silent. Maybe they took the week off. But we're going to fire that back up first thing Monday because we have also integrated the full count feature into the app. And so Majarka and Evan are working through that. We're going to trial it most likely, hopefully in the month of December, with a few residents, just to get your feelings on it. But essentially through full count, you can put in reservations instead of calling. You can put in and see what points you have, and down the road or right now, you'll be able to put in your order from it as well. So it'll save you time, it'll improve accuracy, and it'll save Tanya about 4 hours a day sitting on the phone and taking in all those reservation requests. So really looking forward to that integration, as well as just the full comprehensive apps update that Evan has been working hard on. So
excuse me,
There are
be like
some
the
of them.
dining
yes,
reservation?
yep, right underneath the dining reservations tab.
There's
So
nothing in there now.
No, I know.
Yeah.
so that will come up. So
So is it running?
it is not running yet. Again, we'll be trying that hopefully in early December. So
So something like this, do we fill this out plus do it on the app, or?
nope, just probably shouldn't have mentioned the app at this time. Just keep on going with the regular
whatever-
process.
whatever
Don't
we
even
get.
change anything. We'll
Okay.
keep you posted.
Okay.
And
I will be, I don't have the app because
Okay.
I don't see well enough to use the app.
yep,
So what will be available for me?
the phone and just the way you're doing it now.
Okay.
Not going away anyway. It's just to help alleviate for those that want to. But for those that aren't used to the app, can't because of different things, perfectly fine. We'll still make sure you get fed. And so.
Thank you.
Miss Heller?
Tyler, I did talk to Jarka just a little bit ago, and traditionally on Wednesday when we have the buffet, people did not need to make reservations. You would just go down and find a table. But she is asking, she said, please from now on, if, at least through the end of the year, if people would phone in reservations for Wednesday when they have the buffet.
Sure. Thank you for that note. And so just as a note for reservations, basically every day of the week would be beneficial for a couple of things. A, it helps you ensure that when you want to dine, you're able to dine. It helps the kitchen be able to help streamline the service so that, again, just like at a restaurant, if 50 people come in at one time, really puts a tough time on the servers and the back of the house to try and get through all those orders at once. That's why you want to kind of stagger people. 3, just food waste is the other big piece, so that we can plan for the number of people that are going to be at the buffet, because that's really what's been driving that. We've seen, unfortunately, a little more waste than we've wanted to, and although we work through that to mitigate and reuse as best as possible when appropriate, we're still seeing that. The other thing is we don't want to run out because we've also had that on the other side. So we're just trying to find that happy medium. And again, if you don't have reservations, I'm not going to say that's okay. It's okay. You're still going to get fed. It's just not going to be, it may require you to have some patience. Again, with the restaurant style dining that we are offering, much like when you go into a restaurant without reservations and they're full, you may say you have to wait an hour. Again, that's at your discretion. It's not going to be an hour. I can pretty much assure you of that. It may be 5, 10, 15 minutes where you head over to the 1884. So again, if you don't make reservations, perfectly okay. Just know that it might require some patience on your end when you come down at 5, especially if you come down between the hours of 5:15 and 6 o'clock. Know that that's the busiest time, and so if you don't get that reservation, and again, Mijarka, Tanya, and Sam are going to do their best to get you sat as soon as possible, but there may be just some patience that we need. Ms. Newell.
Can you envision an early seating and a later seating because several haven't moved in yet?
So we're as close as we are probably going to be. So currently we have 105 of the 112 apartments sold. So with that being said, about 103 of those are occupied. So 2 are currently unoccupied that are sold. Again, we're going to have ebbs and flows. So we're pretty well at capacity as we sit today. As far as the early and the late seating, again, I think that's where we want to stick to more of that reservation because, again, and I know that she's had a couple conversations with a few residents, but the 6 and 6:15 reservation times are open, are available, and that's something that we're working really diligently with staff to make sure you still get your full dining experience and don't feel rushed at the end, because that's been some of the feedback is that some of the servers start cleaning up and, doesn't give you the best experience, and so we're working with that. Our servers are scheduled until 8 every night. Of course, as with any job. Sometimes you like to try and sneak out as soon as you can. But at the end of the day, we're here for you, and we are scheduled till 8 o'clock. So again, even if you come at 6:15, you should still get your full dining experience, and you shouldn't feel rushed. So, yes.
I think we were told somewhere along the line that there would be a new menu.
Mm-hmm.
When does that start?
So, great question. So the question is about the new menu. It's the winter menu, and so just with all the different variations and I guess holiday type of events that we're having with the special brunch next Sunday for Christmas at the Castle, obviously Thanksgiving with the plated Thanksgiving meal, the Christmas Eve dinner service, the Christmas Day, the New Year's Eve, the New Year's Day. We're actually holding off on that menu until the first of the year. And so we've made some slight changes to it, but at the same time, again, just for both the kitchen's standpoint, as well as just because of all the changes that are coming, just because of the holidays and the different things that we have going on, I think you'll still feel a sense of difference, especially in the brunches and the special meals that we have for you. But again, the full that first week of January is what we're targeting for that major winter menu change. And then you'll probably see one in April for the spring one. So it'll be a little bit shorter cycle than anticipated. So, yes?
I have two questions. One is the umbrellas, are they gonna stay up all winter?
They're gone?
They're gone. If you look across the way right now, they're gone. I'm really liking this coffee of the town because there are some things that are happening that are getting.
They were there this morning.
Yeah,
They were this
being
morning.
taken out this morning.
So-
And the other one is this door right here. It is still open.
The
A
gap.
mouse could get through there.
But we don't want that. But
Well,
also
and
the
I
cold air.
asked, Eric about it, and he said it needs a new door,
Okay. You're talking this Lindsay Hall door, right?
right?
Right here.
The outside, the outside door.
Right. So, but yes, all the patio furniture has since been gone as of 30 minutes ago. So, and that's being taken.
You knew I was gonna ask that.
No, so we're actually storing that offsite. I don't know how many of you were here previously. We tried to put everything into the garden room. Yeah, not this year. Our patio furniture is a little bit nicer and not as durable as our former furniture, but also we've invested in an offsite storage pod, essentially just right offsite, that we'll be using throughout the year for various things to try and alleviate some of the garage pressures, as well as just feasibility for our maintenance staff, as well as keeping the garden room available, since we have some gardeners that will be doing some gardening over the winter time. So that's what's happening.
I
Yes.
was gonna say, I appreciate that there's room in the garden room now, that if I have a plant that needs to be transplanted that's
Mhm.
upstairs in my apartment, and it makes a horrible mess when I do it in my kitchen, and.
Bring it on down.
We can bring it
There
down
you go.
here, and I think that's everybody should know that.
And
Yeah.
that's beautiful, the new paint job.
Yeah, the garden room got a full makeover. So if you haven't seen it, what it was and what it is, it's a little bit different. So there's a nice epoxy flooring on. The walls are painted. There's a nice gardening table in there as well. So yes, that's the space for you. Transplant your plants, get dirty in there, save your homes, save our housekeeping team. And please utilize that space because it's going to be open like that all year and forever. So, Lynn?
Are we still on schedule for the Creativity Center January?
Yes, after the first of the year. So Eric and I want that. What's that?
How long is it gonna take?
3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. And, there will be parts of that it'll be usable, and weekends and things of that nature, because it'll be paint and things of that nature. And again, the big piece when we're
Could
not.
you repeat that question?
Sorry, the question was when is the Creativity Center still on schedule to start in January?
Okay.
And the answer is yes. And so again, it'll be probably closed for a solid 2 weeks just because of flooring and cabinet work and things of that nature. But once we start painting in there, again, while the painting's going on, it'll be closed. But then after that, we should be able to get it open for nights and weekends and things of that nature. So, yes, Ms. Hope.
We repotted a plant down there a couple weeks ago. And there is a broom to sweep up, but there's no dustpan. So we used a piece of broken pottery.
Oh.
And there needs to be a trash bin.
Okay. Dustpan and trash bin.
Just as a comment, we did it inside of a plastic bag, so when we were all done, you just pick up the plastic bag, rather than, make a giant mess.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Could you pick up my plant later?
So, trying to think what else is upcoming. What other questions are there? Yes, Ann.
We've added a lot of new residents, and I'm thinking particularly in the fitness center, and you haven't hired any more workers. So as a result, I used to have 2 personal fitness things, and now I can only have 1, poor me. But if you're getting more people in, I would think that you would have to add staff. And I know you have trouble adding staff in the kitchen, but is it all over, or is it a matter of budget, which I suspect it is?
Good question, Ann. So the question is regarding primarily, you've added a number of new residents, roughly 30, give or take. I imagine you need to add staff. Is it still difficult to add staff like it is in the kitchen, which, even from a kitchen perspective, we're staffed, we're getting there. I think we added a maintenance and we added a housekeeper for the new residents, and we're just to full strength now. So that was about a 60 to 90 day process. From a fitness center standpoint, Willie and I had a conversation right before Evan got here. Now Evan's obviously been looped in on that. And really what we wanted to see was kind of what the new impact was to residents, that new residents would have on the fitness center before we just went and added a staff member.
The fitness classes now are very large.
I saw that this morning with my own eyes when I walked through.
And I'm not sure that that's a good thing.
It is a fantastic thing. And that's what we want, is for our fitness and wellness programming to continue to grow. And so that's where I think Evan, Willie, and I can sit down and kind of talk, what does that look like? The reason for the personal training decrease was the one still being included, we thought was right in line and consistent. 2, what we're seeing is that residents may have felt not as strongly to have to attend both. And so it wasn't making our staff work as efficiently and effectively as possible, because if somebody would, say, cancel last minute or not show up for their personal training, then we have a staff member that's basically there and now they're trying to fill that void of, what are they doing with their time. By doing it one time, it's been a lot more impactful where we haven't seen those missed appointments, because I have my one personal training appointment, I need to get there. We also brought on a new small group fitness, so 3 or 4 residents at a time that are utilizing kind of in a like, and Evan can correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of a like fitness class, so to speak, so that those that may need some assistance with their lower body are getting their help with their lower body, and vice versa, those that are getting help with their upper body.
How do you find out about these?
So that's where William and Lisa should be working with you to kind of create those small fitness group classes. And so again, if that's something that you want, something that you're asking for, please let Willie know, and he can work with you on that. What I saw this morning, and I was actually going to chat with Evan, was a very busy fitness center, and that was awesome to see. And again, it was right away this morning, 8:30, which I know is when people enjoy getting their fitness in, as opposed to throughout the day. So maybe it is we introduce another part-time individual into the mix. We do have interns that also work with Willie and team and seeing what their capacities are. But I do also know that, you know, in the afternoons, they're pretty light. And so that's where I need to kind of get a feeling with Willie and Evan as to what that fitness programming overall looks like. So we didn't add to begin with because I wanted to see, as opposed to let's add and then you as residents, as you know, pay for something that maybe we don't need. So again, there's capacity there. Of course, budget is always in consideration, and that's again something that, you know, I'm mindful of to try to mitigate the continued increases that you see. But at the same time, as there's needs arise, you know, throughout, hopefully you've seen throughout your time at East Castle Place, that's where I don't hesitate to make sure you're taken care of and to make sure the residents' needs are met. Yeah.
As long as Evan is here.
Yeah, that's why he's here. So let it, you know.
When I moved in here, weekends are really boring here because nobody's working. And when I first moved in, we had bingo and we had trivia, and it was run by an employee of East Castle. Well, then bingo was taken away, so I think we're the only adult senior community in Milwaukee County without bingo.
You have Black Friday bingo this week if you didn't see it, and we better see you there.
And
Are you
you
aware
know,
that-
now the residents are doing trivia. And, you know, it just seems, I understand the increase in rent because everything's going up, but slowly you're taking things away. That was the first thing. Then it was you could only go so far, and after that you'd have to pay for the gas. And that's understandable, but again, that's a takeaway. And it just seems things are being slowly taken away, like a fitness class, and the rent keeps going up. It's either one or the other, I think. So that's all I have to say.
Well, and as always, I appreciate your sentiment and your honesty. And you know, I think that, you know, and I'm sure, and I've heard some of the undertones of what you're saying in full transparency. And again, I truly am not trying to take away.
You may not be trying to.
Trying to define. You know, I'm trying to define. And so from that standpoint, definition, by defining it, it also allows us to mitigate those continued increases because again, costs have gone up dramatically. And again, by having your neighbors join us, that definitely helps in the overall budget. You saw the budget proposal and everything that's within that budget. Labor in the staff and services has just gone very high in the last 3 years. And so that's really where I'm trying to ensure that next year and the year following, we're not seeing those 6% increases. You know, I think we're in that 3 to 5% range. That's where I want to get back to. We haven't been there in 2 years. Previously, we're always at 3%. So at the same time, I think where we've seen an increase and an elevation has been in your dining programs. I think we've seen more use and in facilities and things of that nature from our landscaping and our fitness programs, our activity programs, our transportation program. Yes, we said that, okay, if you go past 10 miles or if you need to do something personal, you know, that may cost you some money. But I also know that I'm looking at it from a community standpoint as opposed to a personal piece, which is why the Sunday piece, we have an average attendance, I think, of 5 to 8 residents, if I'm not mistaken. We have 120 residents. So by staffing somebody here for 4 hours to do that one event for 8 people, is that really the greatest good for the community as opposed to having them here where I have 15 to 20 residents in attendance or I can bring in a bigger performer or a lecturer like a Tim Crane, that I can serve more of the community, as opposed to some residents in less than 10 that are wanting that. And again, what can we do to try and enhance and still meet that need by setting up those that do want, those 5 to 10 residents, so they aren't forgotten or not needed. So again, I took more of what I would call a macro view on the community in looking at what is the greater community looking for and wanting and asking for, and that's where I lean on the resident council. We've enhanced with obviously, the Touchtown and community apps. Again, trying to bring in more lecturers and different art series and different presenters that we've never had here. And so again, I think, I definitely can see your point of view, Anne, of taking away. But at the same time, I think that we have enhanced services and amenities as well at the same time.
Tyler, one thing that just occurs to me, I was in volunteer management for 15 years in different areas, and I'm not suggesting that we who pay a premium to live in a lovely place need to take over because I'm not willing. But we have the art committee, we have people volunteering to do things that they like to do. So I'm just, listening to Ann and thinking, well, would we enlarge the possible volunteer options to say, look, if you really would like to volunteer and you no longer want to drive to the Humane Society to volunteer there, or where you used to go out and volunteer, would you like to be the volunteer bingo person? Mm-hmm. Because I don't know, with all of these people who live here, maybe there's somebody who would love to do that because they're bored on Sunday afternoon.
And to that point, I had a meeting with Kathy Barnes, and she's doing a pop-up holiday card craft class on a Saturday. East Castle Place is paying for those supplies. She's providing her expertise. So again, that's a partnership, and to your point, Lynn, kind of that volunteer, and something that I think we can grow here internally with the help of Evan and the rest of our staff, is also increasing the volunteers that we bring in from the outside. We have connections with MSOE, UWM, Concordia, MATC, and colleges still require students to do volunteer hours. So there's opportunity there. I think there's an untapped resource. We haven't had, a person like an Evan, and I'm not putting this on Evan to help guide some of those volunteer programs, but I think that's a resource, and to meet that need as well on those Sundays. So again, I think it's, as much as I know it feels like it's being taken away, and there are definitely some things that have been, I also think we've tried to just help put a definition on some of the policies, some of the procedures for the betterment of the greater community. Joe?
Yeah, I would just add to that the trivia thing was, it became just trivia, not alternating bingo trivia, because the resident who was willing to take that on, that was her interest. She wasn't interested in bingo, she was interested. And I've noticed that there are groups around. There's the Mahjong group, there's the cribbage group, and these are self-forming groups. And so I think there could be, an announcement that anybody who's interested in in being part of a Sunday afternoon bingo group, show up at 2 o'clock on Sunday in the card room in Lake Terrace and see if it gets going, and then see if it organically grows rather than we're going to do this, kind of thing.
So I just would like to talk in a positive way. A Saturday evening dinner is sensational, and it's every Saturday, and you can't beat it.
Oh, thank you.
Kathy's card making, how is that being advertised?
So it's going to be in December. I think it's going to be on the December calendar, Evan. So
December calendars will be out Friday.
Okay.
Finalized calendars will be out Friday.
And the trivia group is self-led,
Mm-hmm.
and that's at 4 o'clock on the second floor.
I thought there were leaders.
Well, it's resident members.
Yeah. What else?
Well, now you're.
Well,
You just did.
If you ask residents, you know, who is their favorite waiter, who's their favorite this and that, they can all give you an answer.
mm-hmm.
And the one that most of us women would miss the most, you know, Malaysia. Malaysia.
Yeah,
She is the most fantastic teacher.
Malaysia.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And in yoga, I mean, now she's going to, she's so knowledgeable, it's just astounding.
Could you talk louder? We can't hear you.
Sure.
Can't hear you.
I said Malaysia is so knowledgeable in her, you know, she knows every muscle, every tendon, everything in the body. And she can just spout it off, you know, like this and that. And she's, I've never had a yoga teacher anywhere near her expertise.
Keep filling out the star cards.
Mm-hmm.
She's
I should add, Melisi is doing an activity also.
Yeah.
in December.
No, she is. She's very willing
Be
to
on the
do
lookout for
things.
that.
Oh, she
But
does
what scares the
Monday morning.
heck out of me is that she's going back to school. And she's going to become. Yeah, she's back in school, and she's going to become an assistant physical therapist. And I'm afraid we're going to lose her. And it would be a tragedy. Believe me, it would be. Wouldn't you agree?
That would be very sad.
I mean, she's just, there's just nobody like her
I
as
think
far as
so, too.
teaching.
Well, and she's a light,
Physical
she's a,
fitness.
she's a
And knowing
very,
what-
she's a sunshine ball.
I mean, I had 2 hips that hurt me all the time. They never hurt me anymore. I mean,
Yep.
she is that good.
Meditation too. She
Meditation.
can put you
yeah,
under.
yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. Evelyn can tell you she puts her to sleep because she gets her so relaxed.
Takes me to another world. And actually, she jumps in wherever she's needed, because this morning, our class was so big,
Mhm.
she took, we were in 2 groups and we split. And I mean, she really is.
Yeah, she's a star.
She's a gem.
And we don't want to lose her.
We don't.
No, we don't. And if she gets this, and I'm sure she will, she's smart, she'll get that assistant degree in physical therapy. Maybe she could be our yoga teacher and she could work in physical therapy.
We will do everything we can to try to accommodate that,
Thank you.
per Melicia's
Thank you.
intentions
Okay,
as well.
thank you very much.
You'll hear about it.
Wind up
It's
outside
noted.
your door.
It's noted. So, Yes, Mr. Flynn.
As a new person here, do you just show up for these things? Like
Yes.
yoga?
Sure.
Like
You
yoga.
just show
Come
up,
Yeah.
you don't have to sign
We'll
up?
show you how to get down on the yoga.
There you go.
There is some activities more outings that require sign-up.
Sure.
And those are indicated on the calendar.
Okay,
They're highlighted. And then there's a calendar, a sign-up book in the library.
okay.
But the classes are,
Classes?
Classes are, yeah.
come swimming with us, it's great.
Yeah, well, that's it. That
Yeah.
was, yeah, we heard that.
I want to get involved.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but we do have our annual tradition of Christmas at the castle coming up next Sunday. So December 3rd. We will have Christmas decorations being put up Monday. Trees will start arriving on Sunday. But Sunday, we'll have a brunch that will be a very nice brunch. Tim and Majarka have a wonderful plan for that. I think we have a special entertainment during brunch as well to elevate that. And then beginning at 3 o'clock.
So we have a cellist coming in for brunch as well as a pianist.
This is December 3rd?
December 3rd.
December 3rd. Yep, families are welcomed. I believe
Reservations are required.
required.
Yep.
I'm not sure what the date of, I don't know if you know off the top of your head, but what's
I
the?
think he has the sheet there.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
It says, it should say when they're required by.
Reservations are
Oh,
required by.
yeah.
Second
reservation.
first, I think.
By the first.
And that's just for brunch, so you don't need reservations.
By the first,
to-
by 4 PM on
to
Friday.
participate in the other activities. So from 1:30 to 2 o'clock, we'll have a little bit of a, or I shouldn't say, from 1:30 to 3, we'll have a little bit of a lull. Pastor Harold will still have his service in Lindsay Hall. At 3 o'clock, the UWM Theater Variety, our students will be put on a variety show based around the holidays. That will be in Lindsay Hall. And then following that, we're gonna have some desserts and a visit from Santa.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
So bring your Christmas lists.
Oh,
And I think Joe's gonna have something that I think you know what you're gonna
Yeah,
say.
and kicking off Christmas at the Castle.
Thank you, Jim.
First of all, this Friday, the tickets for the raffle baskets go on sale, BOGO, buy one, get one. So half-price tickets this Friday, 3 times you can shop for them. Bradford Lobby at 7 to 9. Treasure Chest downstairs from 10 to 12, and 1884 from 2 to 4. This money all goes to the scholarship fund.
That's
And then prior to Christmas at the Castle, that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there will be, you can buy more raffle tickets, you can put them in the buckets for the baskets that are being created, and this year we got prizes from the merchants in the area, and the baskets are really, I mean, we've got some really nice things this year. Not that we didn't in the past, but we were kind of scrambling in the past to put them together. And then the baskets will be awarded at the Christmas at the Castle. The winners will be drawn at Christmas at the Castle. The boutique is taking place up on the 2nd level above the lobby. And that will happen starting on Thursday morning and run all on Thursday, Friday, and up until noon on Saturday.
What's in the boutique?
It's a great place to shop for little Christmas decorating things, for small gifts, for if there may be a couple of trees that if you have moved into the apartment and you gave your tree away and you kind of are now getting in the spirit and saying, maybe I need a tree. So you can buy a tree.
Garland, there'll be lots
Lots of garlands, wreaths.
What's the dates of this?
Next
30th.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday is the big event in here.
And how much are the raffle tickets?
$1 a piece, except Friday, they're 50 cents a piece. And remember, every dime goes to the scholarship fund.
I think we should all give Joe and thank you.
And Mike, Mike's not here.
And of course, our pickles will be for sale as well during that time. So thank you to all of our pickle makers as our pickles are in their final stages of pickling, hopefully, right?
Hopefully.
So yes, and then also Sunday we have our hall Christmas trees going out.
Yes.
Is that the plan, Holly?
Yeah.
So we have Christmas trees. I think we have
Yes.
12 of them this year.
No, we have enough for every floor.
Right, so I think there's 12 total floors. 12 little tabletop, essentially, Christmas trees that each floor can decorate however they'd like. And so those will be distributed on Sunday. Again, just to bring a little
We're also
spirit.
adding this year something special, which is a floor decorating contest.
Ooh,
So,
right.
the Christmas tree will be
What's the
delivered
prize?
to your welcome ambassador on your floor. And then those people will hopefully get people on the floor together to decorate the floor, and there will be judging and there will be prizes.
All right.
Those will be announced at happy hour.
Okay.
I believe the first happy hour.
Yeah, for 6.
Wow. Lot going on. A lot going on.
We did lots of choir cuts.
I was gonna say, and Pat, I see you there. We have the holiday variety show on Sunday because the choir got a little bit of a late start. So the Christmas, our holiday concert is going to be December 17th. It's a Saturday, and our very own Castle Christmas Choir will be doing our concert on that Saturday.
At
So
3:30
Two
and
per-
also at 6:30.
3:30 and 6:30, 2 performances, and that'll be notated.
Sunday, it's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday, sorry. It'll be notated in the calendar as well. And that, of course, will be open to all your families and loved ones, and of course, you yourselves. So, looking forward to that.
Thank you, Pat.
Our own Pat Crump is conducting all of the wonderful choir members.
With their new stand.
With your new stand.
Any other questions? Well, if not, or you're not comfortable sharing in front of a large group, I'll be sticking around a little bit before I head up to my parents' house for turkey and ham.
Great.
My wife just had to buy a pie. It was the easiest Thanksgiving we ever had. So looking forward to it. I hope for those of you that are sticking around, I think, again, we had our employee Thanksgiving meal yesterday, and if the plated meal is anything like the employee meal, I think you all are in for a great treat. I know that Chef Tim has put in his heart and soul and sweat into, well, not hopefully sweat into turkey, but you know what I mean. It will be delicious. And for those of you traveling, safe travels. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Thanksgiving. Again, just from a staffing standpoint, Evan will be here on Friday. We have a few other directors that'll be on site. We do have maintenance, we do have housekeeping, we have the front desk. Everybody will be here 7 days a week like always. You may just see a few less faces around over the course of the next couple of weeks as staff are also getting time away with their families. So just a note there, but if you need anything, do call the front desk and they'll be able to direct anything that you may need. Kayla?
I was wondering if Evan could just give a little summary of what you do. I really never knew what.
A summary of what I do, sure. So I oversee the activities programs in both the independent living and the Bradford Terrace areas. I oversee our transportation department. I oversee our fitness program, or wellness program, I should say, as well as our chaplain.
And the memory unit, are you involved in activities in there?
Absolutely. The whole Bradford Terrace, yep.
And through word of mouth, I heard that there's a little more activity going on in the memory unit.
That's what I'm hoping for. So if we're talking specifically about the Bradford Terrace Memory Unit, however you want to call it, we've so we were doing 2 community activities a month. We're now doing 2 a week. So that was, I think, one of the first things that I really wanted to change, and kind of where I don't want to say my expertise, but I came from more of a cognitively delayed population, and really important to me and close to my heart that those individuals who need more assistance are still integrated into the community. So that was one of the first things we did, and it's it's not where I envision it being, but I think we have a start on it. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you were able to attend the Veterans Day breakfast that
Very
Evan
nice.
Mijarka coordinated, but there was a number of veterans and residents from Bradford Terrace that attended that, and that's the most attendance I've seen since my time here. So again, I think the impact is real that Evan's having on that program in healthcare across the board. And again, he and I will both say there's always opportunities, but we're definitely heading in the right direction. And I think, from the programming standpoint, from the independent living side, I'm very pleased that direction, again, what you all are putting forward and the ideas and the engagement that we have, I think is really, really special. So very thankful for that.
Yeah, kudos to Evan for that Veterans Day.
Yes.
That was wonderful.
It's a great morning.
Thank you
And
very
he got everybody down there. He had breakfast for them, and he had a program for them, and recognized them all. It was wonderful.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. So, and if you haven't seen, we do have a pool table. So I guess that question can't be asked anymore. So, but no, special thanks to Dave Lawyer for doing this special operative work in finding the right table.
So you have 20 people around that table now, right? Because we don't have programs for 5 people.
Right, exactly.
Maybe
20 people minimum, and then Evan will run it. So.
Is there a possibility of putting a table tennis sheet on the top of it?
Not on that one.
No.
Not on that one. That is strictly a pool table.
Okay.
So that's not one of those convertible ones. That is a very nice pool table that we were able to acquire. So, but please feel free to play it with your friends, family. So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, if not, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank